Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. There's a mouse on my screen. What? There's a mouse on my screen. Welcome to Tuesday, the Tuesday Big Show. Welcome. My name is Danny Alex. We're going to lay the boots to Hollywood. Going to lay some boots. That's what we do. That's what we're good at. It's the only thing we're good at. Well, we're good at a few other things, but I'll tell you, Katy Perry, Ruby Rose. Ooh, little bit of brushing with the muffin, right? Brushing with the muffin. What is Daddy talking about? Katy Perry, Ruby Rose, little brushing with the muffin. Little. Did you hear about the Ruby Rose filing a police report because 20 years ago? Because it's only these Hollywood divas can. Apparently in a nightclub 20 years ago, Katy Perry and Ruby Rose went in, and however it transpired, whatever happened, for whatever reasons it happened, Katy Perry brushed her muff against Ruby Rose's face, and then Ruby Rose threw up everywhere. I mean, that seems a little dramatic. I don't know. You've got one, so I don't know if it's why it's so, guys kind of go there all the time. I know girls go there all the time. I don't know. But she filed a police report 20 years later. 20 years later. I mean, she's got balls, right? She's got balls. If there is time today, I got an article, and then I also have some comments. Hello. I also have some comments from the apparently the bar manager that was working that night. How do you remember that from 20 years ago? 20 years ago, I was moving to Los Angeles. Just over 20 years ago. I mean, I think back and I think, wow, I mean, can I remember an incident in a bar from 20 years ago? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. If someone asked me, I guess if Katy Perry if I was lying down and Katy Perry brushed her muffin on my schnoot, maybe I'd remember that. I guess maybe. And if I threw up all over the place, I guess I'd remember that too. But anyway, so Katy Perry and Ruby Rose are in a little bit of they're having a little bit of I can't say Ruby Rose, she filed a police report today. An actual police report 20 years later, like statutes of limitations. I don't know. Well, we'll get to it, but you know what? So there's a few things we're going to be talking about today, guys. And Doomsday, they let their budgets. Now, I've been saying $750 million, $750 million. It's extremely close to that. As a matter of fact, if they're undershooting $750 million and they're saying it's X amount, it's probably even higher than what I was thinking, that I was projecting at $750 million. It's probably higher for Doomsday. Doomsday is absolutely doomed. And for me, it's been I hold no hope. It has no place. As a matter of fact, today, we're going to go through phases 4, 5, and 6. We're going to brush ourselves up. On top of going through a little bit of Doomsday news, but we're also going to go through phases 4, 5, and 6. Brush up on, and just to take a look at how stupid phases 4, 5, and now phase 6. Like, what a mishmash. What a Frankenstein monster. I mean, a total Frankenstein monster. Holy cow, Kevin Feige. So Doomsday, we're going to do that in a couple of minutes here, guys. Godzilla -0, they released a quick little trailer. So I was waiting for it. I watched it. We're going to watch it here in a few minutes. And, that's it. Where's the beef? Where's it's a teaser trailer. I guess this is the teaser it's coming out in November. If you haven't seen Godzilla -1, if you haven't seen Godzilla -1, watch it. It's probably the best Godzilla movie. I mean, really, I think it is. Very well written. It's a Japanese movie, and they great story. The special effect, I think it cost $10 million to make. 10 million. You look at the special effects, you're like, oh, this is pretty good, right? I mean, but Doomsday. I tell you what, Doomsday multiplied by like 80 on Doomsday. I mean, we're going to touch on that, and then we've got talk about there's a lot of Disney on this board here today. I know. We got Mandalorian and Grogu, or Grogu and Mandalorian. I don't know which one comes first, and I don't care. But this is a Star Wars disaster in the making. They got some preliminary numbers that's probably going to guarantee this thing's going to lose money. What I predict, it'll have everyone that wants to see this movie, Grogu and Mandalorian, this thing. If you guys watch the TV show, oh my God. If you like watching a guy in armor walk, you would like it, right? You'd like it, but we're going to talk about it. There's some preliminary numbers from the box office. Disney's laying off people. What's new? And then there's also a couple of other things. They didn't fit on the board. What else was there? There's lots of it's just lots of little. Adria Arjona.
Maybe we'll finally get to use it.
What is it? Something just.
Third drop. Repeat. Abort third.
Oh, there we go. Something just started playing. I'm like, what the hell is playing? Well, yeah. Well, so there's a little bit of Gunverse news. Daredevil episode 6 is on tonight, so we're gonna do that in a Thursday big show. So, if you want to hear some Daredevil stuff. It's these aren't superheroes, these are super cucks. Basically, I mean, the girls have Daredevil, right? The women have it. If you want to see Daredevil, if you want, you will have to talk to one of his female entourage now that yeah. I was just thinking, I was going to Google it. Maybe I'll do it for the Thursday show. I was going to Google how many of these Marvel superhero people, how many of them have sons, right? Everything is a daughter. Everyone's got a daughter. Nobody has a son. When's the last time you remember someone having a son? I'm waiting. I'm listening. When was the last time you remember any Disney character, for that matter, I guess, had a son? I'm going to do some research. I'm going to pull up some information. We'll do it on Thursday, on the Thursday big show. Because everything's a daughter, right? Even a Daredevil, right? It's the white tiger. She's hey, look, there's nothing wrong with young girls. But the fact is, I remember I don't know if you guys remember when you were a kid watching superheroes. Like the last thing I wanted to see was a freaking little kid. Excuse me, a little kid. I mean, if I was 10 years old watching Iron Man or Spider-Man or one of the cartoons, I want to watch men. I want to watch men kick some ass. I don't need to see stupid little kids. Never been into it. I don't think kids are into it. Kids play with, the big dolls, right? Men dolls, male dolls. I'll tell you what. One of the sayings that is I might use this word. Man up, man. Frickin' man up. It's time, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars. It's time they manned up. Yeah. But we'll do. When's the last time a Marvel Disney character had a son? Are there any sons out there? Is anyone else having sons in TV land? There's lots of daughters that are the key to everything. There's lots of them. They're everywhere. They're a dime a dozen. That's Thursday. But it's not Thursday, it's Tuesday. It's the Tuesday Big Show. My name is Danny Alex. Guys, hey, Pamela. Pamela. Big happy face with the sunglasses. I should be wearing sunglasses. There's a couple of guys right there. They go on. They go on, right? They go on like one guy, I'm not sure what his name, but they go on and they'll do their show with sunglasses on. Now, these are actually prescription, like, because these are not prescription. These aren't prescription, these sunglasses. But I see, like, what's the guy? Critical Drinker, right? He always goes, he's got sunglasses on. Like, you got a problem with you don't like your eyes? I have nothing against. I just add, like, dude, how come you're always wearing sunglasses? Here's a couple of guys, they're always wearing sunglasses. Gene Simmons always wears sunglasses. I don't think he wears those as much anymore. But could you imagine me doing a show every night? Actually, maybe it might be better. Maybe this is the new thing. You could see, like, you could see my computer monitor, my glasses. Yeah, sometimes you can see the lights, hey, in the monitor. I don't know. There we go. Yeah, these are I do have, but I don't know. I don't see. So I don't know if any of you guys wear glasses or anything, but I can see close. I can see really good close. Like I can see little tiny letters. I just can't see far that great. But I do like wearing glasses. I do. I think it makes me look smart. I think it makes me look smarter. And so these are prescription. But I don't want them to ruin my nearsight. So anyway, it's the problem with glasses, right? I used to never wear glasses. But for the last few years, I don't know how many years ago, I started wearing glasses and you know what? Maybe you get older, right? You get older, it's like, hey, maybe you want to wear some sunglasses. There was something else really interesting. Rachel Zegler got a job. Guys, Rachel Zegler got a job. Pamela, I'm the first one here. Well, there's a few people here. There's like, I see 12 to 15 popping in and out. First one in chat. You're the first one chatting up. Looking good. You are looking good. Probably because they were stoned. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think that critical drinker dude, I don't think he's a lot more animated when he's not live. He's very... I watched some of his show. Hey, I have, I got nothing bad to say about anybody except Disney. Except for Disney. I got some man up, man up. So we'll touch on the Rachel. Top billing. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted a top billing tonight is Godzilla -0, my friends. Godzilla -0. Let's make lemonade. Share screen, Godzilla. Oh yes. I want to share that. No, I don't want to share that tab. I want to share this tab. There we go. That's what I want. There we go. Hey, how did I get halfway there? So this is, how is it? 46 seconds. So I think everyone, like about an hour and a half ago, the Godzilla -0. Because Godzilla -1 was good, right? It was good. Pamela, did you see Godzilla -1? It's a good movie. It's got a great story. And of course, as a screenwriter, I look for story, right? I look for strong story. I look for strong characters. I look for an emotional reason to be in the movie. Now, sometimes you don't need to be there. It's just all dumb action, like that War Machine, War Machine on Netflix. There was, they didn't set I talked about that movie already. They didn't set it up very well. They didn't set the antagonists up. We didn't see the antagonist till 45 minutes in. They didn't set it up. They didn't create, yada. But Godzilla -1, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, guys. Highly recommend it. This is So it was, I think a lot of people were disappointed. Let me set up my screen here, my TV screen. They were disappointed. Oh, hold on. You can't start. I'm not start with, until I'm ready. Oh, jeez. Don't. No. Can I make that better? That's going to be. That should be okay. And so it was 46 seconds long. And everybody, I think everyone that watched it was like, I was watching the live chat. It was like everyone basically was kind of like, let's watch it. Let's watch it first. Godzilla -0. And if you've come on to the after live stream and there's nothing that comes on or just a picture, it's because it was copyrighted. I had to delete it. Just to, but hopefully we're not going to, we'll see.
If their operation fails, maybe we'll finally get to use it.
Abort third drop. Repeat. Abort third drop.
I mean, they should they should offer some translations, I guess. If you're dropping it into a North American audience, I'd probably say maybe you should have put in a few translations. I mean, I'm literally making that up. No idea what that says. But so far we're halfway in, and honestly, I have no idea. I have nothing to say. That was. I think that's the woman and the boy from the first movie. Great touching story between them and the guy that kamikaze pilot. He wanted to commit suicide, as a kamikaze, but he never did. Felt guilty the rest of his life. It's a great story, right? But let's see the second half. So this is interesting. I will say this. This is when I believe this is what happens during the vortex, right? When the vortex opens up and another Titan comes through. I think, is that what that is? That's what I'm thinking. The blue with everything floating around, that the vortex is opening up, and that's when I don't know. I don't know all this Easter egg crap that I have some. I should mention something about. But I think this is the vortex. I don't know. Someone could correct me. G-0. That's it. That's literally. That is literally what everyone was waiting for. That's it. The only thing that meant anything. Yeah, that's it. Happy Tuesday evening, my friends. Happy Tuesday evening. Just relax. You know what? That's my advice. I talked to a couple friends today. They were having stressful days. My advice, just relax. Go home, sleep it off, sit down, eat a good meal, maybe a little bit of red wine. I'm not saying, But anyway, that is literally the only thing that really meant anything to me that I saw, I mean, someone can correct me because I don't speak Japanese, was we see Godzilla walking. It's about a 2-3 second take, walking by the Statue of Liberty. Now, what they do, I found it interesting. When I was watching, I was like, is Godzilla the same size as the statue or bigger? And of course, they do let you see it, and they cut it out. Where is it? They just start to cut it out right there. So you can see just the tip of his nose disappear. So obviously, I don't know how tall the Statue of Liberty is, about 300, I'm going to guess 330 feet. Do you know, Pamela? 330 feet. So this is the only, he's coming to New York, my friends. He's coming to New York. Godzilla, he probably wants to catch a Broadway show or two, I'm guessing. But if he's gonna lay waste to New York and Manhattan, oh come on, let's do this. Okay, Godzilla in New York City, Godzilla -0. That's what's gonna be happening, my friends. But like I say, they're really. There really isn't much to the trailer. I mean, I could go like this, and you kind of get the. That was from the first movie, His Town. I think that was the one that Godzilla wiped out, right? This is the woman and the girl, so they're back in it. I don't know why she's crying. This is him as a kamikaze pilot. Does he go back in time and he's flying and he hits the vortex where I guess the other Titan comes through? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Godzilla expert. Chasing a plane. It doesn't really have much clues until we get to here. This is, I mean, that was everyone that was on watching this thing. Everybody that was watching it was like, what, that's it? This is what I waited for? That's it? Not a great trailer. Oh, is there an English version of the trailer? TikTok Godzilla 167. Well, damn, I guess that would make sense, right? Thank you, TikTok. I thought they were trying to be like, uber trendy cool. Okay. Oh, so hold on. Okay. So thank you, TikTok. Thank you. I mean, I probably should have guessed and done the search, right? But I literally thought they're probably trying to be uber cool. The reason why she's crying because she infected with Godzilla cells. TikTok. Thank you. That's why I rely on the chat. Thank you. So the little girl is infected with Godzilla cells? Does she turn into a Titan, I guess? Well, let's watch the English version. But again, thank you to TikTok Godzilla.
If their operation fails, maybe we'll finally get to use it.
Abort third drop. Repeat. Abort third drop.
I don't know if it offers any more insight. I mean, it's pretty vague. I mean, Godzilla, he's going to, I mean, it's pretty vague still. I don't know what that is to be infected with, refers to a contamination by Godzilla's highly radioactive regenerative DNA. Doesn't sound that bad already. Which mutates organic life into monstrous forms. Okay, that's okay. Causes severe radiation sickness. Or enables unnatural healing. In Godzilla -1, Nokiro is seen with a glowing black patch, G cells on her neck. Totally forgot. Suggesting her survival was enabled by this infection. Totally forgot. A plot point setting up potential transformation or intense illness. Right. You know what? And if I watch Godzilla -1 before viewing this, I would probably. But this is why you need chat. This is why you need people in chat. The mother, yeah, right. She had, not the kid, the mother, because the mother in the last movie is infected. That is correct. And now when I just read it, I now remember. Now I remember that. Totally forgot. But I'll take the G cells. I'll take Godzilla cells. I don't know. Couldn't get any worse, right? Couldn't get any worse. I'll take the Godzilla cells. My mom always said she thought I was pretty, but the way I see it, I'll take those unnatural cells and make a market improvement. Just kidding. But so anyway, there is Variety's got a few things to say about the Godzilla trailer before we get to Doomsday. Doomsday is doomed. Dumb day. I call it dumb day, stupid day. It's going to be a freaking disaster, Doomsday. And I've maintained that from day one. Are you kidding? So it has no bait. We're going to take a look at phases 4, 5, and 6 as well. We're going to take a quick look just to go down memory lane and see if any of this makes sense. It's just a freaking Frankenstein monster. Way to go, Kevin Feige. You done well, buddy. Godzilla -0 trailer brings the kaiju to New York City. Director reveals first plot details and IMAX release. That is an image from Godzilla -1. Great image, right? Great effects, great movie. And especially when it came out, it was at a time that was dominated. Can I get that better? Dominated by a lot of woke stuff. Was it 2023, right? It's 2023. Right around and Napoleon. I remember Napoleon. Joaquin Phoenix. Oh my God, that was it. That was so bad. Godzilla stomped its way to Las Vegas for CinemaCon, the annual convention for movie theater owners that's underway at Caesars Palace. The first trailer for Toho's upcoming sequel, Godzilla -0, was shown to attendees in the room. Oh, yes, all 46 seconds of it. That's the entire 46-second clip. -0. Yeah. -0 is a direct sequel to the 2023 Japanese film Godzilla -1, which was a surprise hit internationally and took home the Oscar for Best Visual Effects. And guys, for a movie, I believe it was $10 million, right? 10 million or 20, I think it was $10 million. Godzilla -1, that budget had. When you think about Disney spending $750 million for Doomsday, and they get no IMAX, right? Because Dune 3 gets a full 3 weeks of IMAX. I mean, it's just... CinemaCon viewers saw a behind-the-scenes sizzle reel that showed off the elaborate sets. Oh, so they got more than we did. And props created for the film, like bomber jets, destroyed cities, and a mini Godzilla model. The trailer picks up 2 years after -1 and continues the story of the survivors from the Kaiju's attack, last attack. Director Takeshi Yamazaki revealed, in the closing moments, Godzilla stomps his way to the Statue of Liberty, setting his sights on New York City. You know what? Knock it down, baby. Knock it down. -1 marked the 37th film in the Godzilla franchise. Who owns the Godzilla franchise? It's not... Who owns... You know what? I've always wondered, who owns the Godzilla franchise? Toho Company Limited, a Japanese film company, owns the Godzilla franchise entirely, having produced the original 1954 film and nearly every installment since. Toho Company Co. Toho Co Limited. Where are we here? Where do we leave off? Lizard-like -1 marked the 33rd Japanese engineer who created the giant lizard-like kaiju creature bent on destruction. Writer and director Yamazaki, and he did a great job in the first one. Returns for -0, which has a larger budget than the already economical 15 million. 15 million was for Godzilla -1. The first movie went on to earn 116 million worldwide, making it the highest grossing Japanese Godzilla film of all time and the country's third biggest release in 2023. Godzilla -0 was also filmed for IMAX. The first for a Japanese film. So if you think it was $15 million, if let's say they probably had at least 10, call it $15 million ad budget, and they probably didn't because that was a word of mouth movie. Call it 25 million. So 50-50 split, you need 50 million to break even. So the movie made and of course in the aftermarket, in the cinematic release, it made 30 to 40 million dollars for Tohoku. And of course, in the aftermarket, it has done exceptionally well. And I don't know, what is the budget for Godzilla -0? What is the budget? The upcoming sequel is confirmed to have a higher budget than the 15 million, yada, yada, yada. Has indicated the budget will be larger to accommodate higher production demands, though the specific amount has not been disclosed. If I would guess, if it's an IMAX release, I would be thinking that's going to be 40 to 50 million. You gotta film a certain way, right? For the IMAX, you have to build a film on IMAX stock film. So I would say if they were really budget smart, maybe they get it to 30 or 40, but I would be thinking 40 to 50 million. That's my guess. Just my experience in the movie business. What else we got here? The cast included Ryanosu Kimiki as a former kamikaze pilot who survives and must later defeat Godzilla. Minami Hambi. I'm butchering all the Japanese names, okay? Just butchering them. So my apologies. Muntaka Aokoi, Hidetaka Yoshi, and more at the 2023 Academy Awards. -1 became the first non-English language film to win Best Visual Effects, beating Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Thank God, because that's a James Gunn movie. Nothing against James Gunn. But the creator, Napoleon, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. -0 will release in the United States on November 6th and in Japan on November 3rd, but Hollywood is also getting in on the Godzilla action with next year's Godzilla X Kong Supernova. It's the 6th film in the legendary and Warner Brothers Pictures MonsterVerse franchise, and the sequel to 2024's team up of Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, a movie which I didn't mind. I didn't mind that movie because it was just dumb, good old fun. If you go to a Godzilla King Kong movie, and you're expecting something a little... Now, with Godzilla -1, we actually got a really deep story on top of the spectacle, right? We got the spectacle and we got the deep story. But the Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, it was... I mean, I went to go see it in the theater, and was it it's a live... It's a big action, big scenes, big monsters. It looked good on the big screen. So anyway, guys, November 6th, Godzilla -0. No doubt that they will be releasing a longer full-length trailer, but that is what they've released so far. Little 46-second clip. But if you haven't watched Godzilla -1, watch it. Set yourself. I better watch it because I gotta brush up on some of my what happened in the previous episode. Here we go. Old Man Iron Man. I hope, you know what? To add in... Yeah. Cheers. Cheers to your Tuesday night, my friends. Oh, I hope just to imagine this, right? Just to add insult to injury. Could you imagine if it's Ironheart? If it's Ironheart that takes down Doctor Doom? Ironheart. Jeez. I mean, really? I mean, it's shocking to me that they just even keep the character. You got Miss Marvel, you got like the female Avengers of Doom, right? Like, holy cow! We're gonna go through phases 4 and 5, in a little bit. We're gonna do that. But we did Godzilla -0. I mean, really, it should have been the headliner, because hey, it's Godzilla, right? That's what. But we gotta get. Well, there's some conversation happening. Let me see what peeps are talking about. And see if I can. Oh God, this. I don't know if Windows pisses you guys off as much as it pisses me off. But TikTok Godzilla. Where were we? TikTok Godzilla. The movie was supposed to be more heartbreaking and more tragic than last movie, and budget increase. Hey, look, that means they got good story. As a screenwriter. I do not write a screenwrite. And I think that's why all my screenplays have done so well in film festivals around the world, is because when I write something, I'm just dedicated to the idea that, like, oftentimes I will write something and I'm literally crying myself, writing my own screenplay, and you're getting somewhere where the visual that you're instilling in your mind, getting down as a screenplay, invokes an emotion when you're, because you really do. When you're a writer, you get, if any of you are writers, you get into the characters. You literally become the characters. And you can write those characters once you know the characters. If you develop the characters and you know your characters, there's an old saying in screenwriting, the characters will basically create their own plot because you know them. You know what they like, what they do, how they react, how they don't react. But anyway, it's good to hear. That's good to hear. I hope they keep their because the emotional depth in Godzilla -1 made the movie, right? Made the movie. 10 to 15 million. I think it's going to be more than that, especially if they're filming on IMAX. I'd say I would say 40 to 50 million. That's what I would be guessing. Just wait the official trailer when they reveal more details. Toho Company. Levander, hey folks, what I miss? We're doing Godzilla -0, my friend. Did you see it? I just caught -1 for the first time this past weekend. There you go. Great idea placing Godzilla in post-war Japan. Certainly worth the time invested, and a great emotional story, right? The story with the characters was fantastic. Mike, I'm back. Pamela, Ben Feister, and of course, Mike. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Godzilla -0. I don't know, 46 seconds of TikTok. I'm guessing 16 to 20. I don't know. I think it's going to be higher, TikTok. I think it's going to be higher because you got to use the IMAX film, right? You got it's a higher budget. I would say at least 40 million. I wouldn't surprise if it's 40 million. It wouldn't surprise me. 30 to 50 million. Okay, I'll say 30 to 50 million. What do I got? They have an applause on this thing. I don't know. Is that's applause? Yeah, it's a different applause. It's not as good. TikTok. Space Godzilla is going to be a villain for Godzilla X Kong Supernova. I look forward to that, actually. You know what? Godzilla Kong, that whole universe is just fun shits and giggles. Oh, no, maybe not. Actually, it is kind of giggles too, right? I enjoyed the last one. Kamikaze literally means divine wind, which makes me a kamikaze pilot as I dive bomb the porcelain pot every time I eat too many beans. Well, that's a round of applause for Vavander. Have some of them those beans, my friend. Have some of them those beans. Happy Tuesday evening. If you had a hard day, guys, Even if you had a good day, if you're tired, right? Serenity now. Because we're talking Doomsday. We're talking Doomsday, motherfucker. We're talking Doomsday. Let's make lemonade. We're gonna move that there. So I gotta get rid of. We don't need -0. Oh geez, did you guys hear? Rachel Zegler got a job. Amanda Seyfield, Rachel Zegler, and Sherry Lee Ralph and more cast in Lin-Manuel's Miranda's Octet. She got a job. She got a job. Okay, so guys, I have always been. Let me get this baby set up. Doomsday. Godzilla and Kong is just pure fun. That's exactly what it is, Mike. Right? Like you're not going to be sitting there trying to, you're not. There's no one's trying to provide a solution to the problems that humanity faces or anything, right? It's just dumbass fun. It's pure fun. It doesn't have to be that realish even. Ever since they formed a specific steel forearm for Kong out of nowhere, I know, right? Everything goes. I remember, and I did a review on it. Some people didn't like it. I'm like, guys, take it for what it's worth. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. To me, it was worth going to see the theaters and seeing it. It's unless you got a huge theater at home, but it's the theater experience for a movie like that. It's the theater experience, and although it keeps getting more expensive, more families are deciding not to go to the theaters, and it makes total economic sense. Total economic sense. So guys, Doomsday. I know I have been since day one. I thought it was always a joke that they were going to bring back Old Man Iron Man. That they were going to bring him back. And out of desperation for, and I know the talk was out there, right? People were talking about it. But then, of course, one day, Robert Downey Jr. shows up on stage in leprechaun green. Hey, he's got leprechaun green. He's wearing, what is it, a leprechaun? And he takes off his mask and he's all intense, looking like a leprechaun. But no, he's Dr. Doom. He's Dr. Doom. And that was our first, like, holy shit. Really? Kevin Feige, there's nothing that leads up to anything. It's like this. There's no lead up. There's no development. There's nothing. You had freaking Kang the whole time. Didn't you do any screen testing to see how sinister? And then you had Galactus. I don't know, is Galactus coming in too? Is Galactus? I guess Galactus has got to be in there, right? I mean, you set him up in Fantastic Four. I mean, it's just, this is like literally a patchwork quilt. You're just slapping pieces together, bringing back the member berries. You think, I don't think, there's a lot of people that are not going to forgive. They're not. And now reshoots, 2 months of reshoots. That's basically an entirely new movie that you are doing with reshoots. An entirely new movie. Now, if there was a natural, I would argue, if there was a natural progression, right? If we saw these characters over 2 or 3 movies come back, there's a whole story and it built up, and we saw the origination of all these characters, or re-origination. Obviously, this is a way. If you ask, if I was the head screenwriter for the entire Marvel thing, it's like, okay, you know what? We've got to do an entire stomp. We got to wipe 80% of these characters out and just start from scratch. And maybe that's what this is, right? Maybe that's exactly what this Doomsday thing is. So I was talking about, this is incredible. I was talking about $750 million. Can I get this better? How can I get this better? No, that's not bad. I was thinking $750 million for this movie. And here's the thing. This came out. Avengers Doomsday budget rumored at $700 million total spend. Can Disney Marvel even possibly profit? Now, if it's rumored to be $700 million, my 750 is probably much closer. 750 with reshoots, $800 million. 800 million for marketing, reshoots, everything. What a disaster. Utter disaster. The reported Avengers Doomsday budget is setting off alarm bells across Hollywood. This is no surprise. I mean, according to John... Who? Fucking dumbass. Marvel's next Avenger film could be operating on a level the industry has never seen before. Well, according to Danny Alex, I've been saying 750 million, so fuck you. The word is that Doomsday's budget is around 400 million. It's actually it's 450 to 500 million from what I understand. Because I'm working in a $250 million budget. Marketing budget, which makes it one of the if not the most expensive film ever made. Campea said, "I've watched 4 or 5 of his videos. Not for me. I'm sorry, guys. It's not for me. He can go off and do whatever shit he wants. I've watched him. I honestly, holy cow. And that's I don't need to be condescending. But I'm certainly not going to listen to what he's. But it is close to what I've been saying, especially my years in Hollywood, 20 years in Hollywood, screenwriter, everything. At least I have a little bit of a street cred in terms what I think it might be. I heard a little birdie told me you guys will remember that Avengers Endgame was the first movie ever to spend $200 million on marketing campaign, which was unheard of at the time. I've heard their marketing budget for Doomsday is just north of $300 million. Now here, I've been saying this for over a year now. Now here's where it's interesting. He probably watched a couple of my shows. That's what I'm thinking, because he can't really think for himself. This guy, just not to be mean, just being real, my friends. Now here's where it gets interesting. If Doomsday is about a $400 million budget, and if they are spending about $300 million on marketing, Doomsday will be the first film in history that will need to join the $1 billion club in order to break even. I have said it needs $1.5 billion to break even. $1.5 billion will be the break even mark. After they take their half, $750 million, $1.5 billion for Doomsday to break even. If those numbers are even close to accurate, Avengers Doomsday is looking at a $700 million total investment, $750 to $800 million. I'm saying before a single ticket is sold, and will have to make well over $1 billion, $1.5 billion to be exact. It's 50-50 split at the box office. This shit isn't that complicated, and I don't know why these dumbass writers like. $700 million gamble in a very... Look at me, I'm getting all upset, eh? Look, let's be honest, this isn't the same Marvel that built toward Infinity War and Endgame. Back then, every release felt like required viewing. Fans were locked in. The story was cohesive. Well, I mean, there were some like Iron Man 3 and, there was a few in there that were... the characters were beloved. Now, guys, I will say my comments for Fantastic Four. One of the most egregious, ridiculous things was The Thing. The Thing was nothing more than a glorified pilot and a glorified cook, because that's all he did. That's all he did. Nobody really did anything against Galactus because nobody could do anything against Galactus. It's like sending 4 ants to go attack the shoe of this human being. It was such a stupid antagonist choice. And Reed is going to teleport the Earth. Wait a sec. You're going to teleport the freaking Earth. You got to take the moon with the Earth. You do know that, right? The whole tidal forces, the whole Earth, moon around the Earth. Without the moon, Earth's in big trouble. But anyway, I digress with that stupid movie. Fantastic Four was a stupid movie. We can revisit it sometimes. It's kind of like Superman 2025. Now the MCU feels scattered, overextended, preachy, and most importantly, optional. I rarely do I think about Doomsday. I think about Dune. Dune 3. I think about Dune 3. I'm looking forward to Dune 3 on December 18th. Doomsday. Doomsday means get the fuck out of my way. I'm here to see Dune 3. That's what that means. Get the frick out of my way. Yep. Spending this kind of money in that environment is a major gamble, especially when Disney is going into this release without IMAX theaters. It was confirmed earlier this year that Warner Brothers' Dune 3, which comes out the same day as Avengers Doomsday, will be playing in IMAX theaters over Disney's biggest release date. Yeah, that's a kick in the cack, right? When you're like spending $750 million and IMAX won't even put you in. If the reported Avengers Doomsday budget is accurate, the math becomes brutal. 400 million production, 300 million marketing, massive theater splits cutting into revenue. It's 50%, 50-50. Like, the math is not complicated. You divide by 2. Who is this nerd? Who the frick wrote this? Marvin, you just divide by 2 or multiply by 2. Jesus, he's not that complicated, my friend. Now that means Marvel doesn't need a hit. They need a $1 billion box office run just to break even. Exactly 1.5 billion, as Danny Alex at Poprageous pointed out a year ago. You motherfuckers. And realistically, to be considered a true success, you're looking at something. Well, yeah, thank you. Not even a success. 1.5 billion is break even. 50. Fuck, what the fuck? What are we doing here? Is math this complicated to these people? That's not normal blockbuster territory. That's endgame level territory. Marvel's post-Endgame decline is real. Since Endgame, Marvel has been diminishing. It's not just Marvel. It's the entire box office. So you could, it's a general trend, right? It's a general trend. Has Marvel releasing, we're gonna do phases 4, 5, and 6 here in a few minutes here. We're gonna look back. Member berries. We're going back to phase 3 or phase 4, my friends. Pivoted away from its core lineup and attempted to build a new generation of diverse heroes under the guidance of DEI, which was their basic, Marvel is now female. That shift has leaned heavily into newer characters and different priorities, along with a heaping helping of virtue signaling and identity politics. Well, there they got that right. But audiences haven't responded with the same enthusiasm. In fact, the box office tells a very clear story. And it says it across the board, but the whole industry has gone the same direction, right? The only MCU films to cross $1 billion since Endgame is and basically Spider-Man is a Sony property, where Sony and then Deadpool Wolverine just came into, right, with since they brought in the X-Men. So it's kind of like, Legacy Fox franchise. Deadpool and Wolverine, both of these films leaned heavily on legacy characters fans were already invested in from different studios. Then they have the notable flops, yada, yada, yada. We're going to get into that. Where's the hype? This is the biggest red flag of all. Where's the excitement? There's no excitement, right? There's no excitement for any of this. For Doomsday. No one's talking about it. There's no hype. People, why have they not released a trailer? Well, they're doing 2 months of reshoots. Why no trailer? because they don't even have the movie yet. They don't know. They're probably rethinking the movie. 2 months of reshoots means that there are some major rewrites. Characters, storylines, the ending, inciting incident, all of these things are probably being revised. And so they're not going to put a trailer out until they have obviously they know what the hell they're going to do, right? But anyway, that is something I've been saying for a year now. It's 1.5 billion to break even. This is a $750 million production, maybe even bordering on 800 million. It's not it's not news in the sense that but anyway, that's what is that is what is going on with Doomsday. Yep. So, what's going on here? What do we got? You guys remember Phase 4? Do you guys remember the TV shows and the movies from Phase 4? Holy jeez, where did we go in here? Where are we here? Pure Fun, I think we got. I just got an LG OLED, like C6 or whatever. The blacks and colors are just night and day from my LED from 5 years ago. Yeah. Wow, difference. And half the, I know, right? That's the crazy thing. These new TVs, they're so light. They're so freaking light. Yeah, I just got a 60-inch. And yeah, you go to pick it up, you got to think, you're gonna like, and you're like, oh, what the hell? What am I? What am I, Spider-Man all of a sudden? I know, right, Mike? Totally. Oh my God, where y'all been? And you been? I was starting to get worried. I'm so sorry, Pamela. I was in Monterey for a while and couldn't be on. Been trying to show up at least. Yeah, and Mike, to his credit, he has popped on and said hi. Always, look, to me, I love it, right? Even if it's just a hey, yo, hi. Even the lurkers in the background and everyone that comes in on chat, I love going through this shit with you. And hopefully we get some entertainment and a little bit of relaxation doing it, right? Pamela. If I had a good TV, the first thing I do is rewatch The Long Night from the last season of GOT. That episode was darker than a chocolate cow rolling in a mud puddle. Now, on my TV, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Now, when I watched it from Los Angeles. I had a 95-inch TV in Los Angeles. 95-inch TV. 95 inches. It was good. And I did not have the problem with it was a little bit too dark. I mean, but I didn't have a huge problem. But I get how some people could have. It was filmed dark. I mean, they could have just set it up just like 1 or 2 notches higher on the exposure. Didn't need much. The second Dune novel was a little edgy. I wonder how closely they'll adapt it. I think they're going to have to make some changes. I mean, the fact that they're able to take these novels, what Denis Villeneuve's done, the Dune, and create such a compelling movie series. I mean, I find it amazing what they're doing with it. In 2018, Marvel films were 10% of total theater. It was huge, right? In 2019, it was 12%. 2023 was 6%. 2024, 25, 7%. The theater market is in decline. Yes, it is. And for a lot of reasons. But Marvel is underperforming a declining market. Yes, they are. That and Star Wars, right? Over the weekend, I tried to watch Maul's Shadow Lord. I'm no longer in the Star Wars mindset. I tried to watch it. I just lost total interest. You know what? I am. halfway through season 3 of Deadwood. And Vivander, you're the one that got me onto Deadwood. I've always wanted to watch it, and Deadwood is fantastic. I'm gonna finish that up, and I gotta finish The Expanse, and I gotta watch The Boys. I gotta watch The Boy. People, I've heard such good and bad things about The Boys, and it's like, well, I got no opinion because I've never watched it. So I gotta watch The Boys. The Boys. The Boys. So you know what we should do? So since we're on Doomsday, and like I say, I think it is going to be an utter and complete disaster. But the thing is, where do you go with it? I mean, what's if I may ask, what is Kevin Feige's end game? Like, what's his end game with Secret Wars? And is the end game to get rid of the old and then to try and associate some of these new characters with some of the old to try and intermix intellectual property so that they can try and get stronger, or just squash the whole thing and move on? I don't know. My thought would be squash it, end it, vaporize the main timeline. I don't know. But if we go back, Marvel phases 4 and 5. I think it's worth it. Just going back and taking a look at what, and this is sorted by release date. So we started off with WandaVision. Do you remember WandaVision? That was, of course, streaming on Disney Plus. This is phase 4, right after the Endgame. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, 2021. There was a few episodes I didn't mind in that. It was more from the Bucky standpoint, but the antagonist, the way I think there's some things that were the final episode was terrible. I mean, there's Loki was hit and miss. You know what? I love Hiddleston and I like Loki. So it was. I still, this whole multiverse thing and everything they're doing, why would it makes no sense to me that out of the entire universe that somehow humanity controls the timelines of not just our universe. Humanity, this little planet called Earth, controls the timelines for all of every timeline, and humans control. It is just so absurd that humans would even have that power to control the timelines through the TVA. For me. Look, I'm a science guy, right? So my main channel is actually a science channel, Dimension Zero, and from a science perspective, it doesn't even make sense. It's just so asinine. But you do have to drop it. And I do like Hiddleston. I don't know if I liked the way it ended, but apparently Loki is back in Doomsday. What If? Never watched it. I think I watched half an episode of one. Shang-Chi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Remember, guys? Do you remember this? 2021, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Then we had Hawkeye on TV. This was Spider-Man No Way Home. That was the biggie, right? That was the biggie right there. Spider-Man No Way Home. Moon Knight, one season. What was it for? Why? Where's Moon Knight? What was the, no planning, just content. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness could have been much better, but it gets right. And you remember when Miss Marvel came out? Miss Marvel? You remember Miss Marvel? This was. This was a time that was you knew Marvel was cooked, right? When Miss Marvel came out, you knew it was cooked. And then they take a Waititi's Thor Love and Thunder. You flick too hard, damn it. You remember this phase, 2022. And then we had I Am Groot. I watched only a little bit of it. And, fine. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which wasn't too bad. You know what? It's one of those things. Every Christmas, you could probably watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. It's a good watch. It's a good Christmas watch. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania, 2023. That was January 2023. It's a pretty bad movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the final installment for James Gunn before he absolutely decimated us with Superman 2025. Secret Invasion. Guys, do you remember, God, how bad this shit was? How bad was phases 4? Now, this is phase 5, right? We're in phase 5 now. But Secret Invasion, if you even caught 1 or 2 episodes, you realized how bad things have gotten. Then we had, of course, everyone's favorite, the Marvels. The Marvels. And of course, you're looking through this. You're looking through this list, and you're wondering how does this in any way culminate to Doomsday? Of course, it doesn't. It doesn't. Kevin Feige screwed up so bad. If you would have did this at any other company in America, any other company that wasn't in stupid Hollywood, Feige would have been gone a long time ago. A long time ago. Deadpool and Wolverine, which really they had nothing to do with. That was basically a Ryan Reynolds production. Captain America, Brave New World. You're right. Oh my God, guys. Ironheart. 4.5 out of 10. Generous on IMDb. Then we had the Fantastic Four, First Steps. Not a good movie. Very bad movie. I thought it was a bad movie. 6.8. Probably closer to a 6, in my opinion. Blade, well, we never got to Blade. Armor Wars, well, we never got to Armor Wars. So that is what is leading us to Doomsday, guys. Now we have Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and then we have Doomsday. But you take a look at all these. What did any of this have to do with anything? Granted, some of these new characters, they are in Doomsday. Ironheart's in Doomsday. Miss Marvel's in Doomsday. I don't think Moon Knight is. Eternals, Shang-Chi is in it. But anyway, the point is, the last 6 years, when you go back and you reflect on what was actually released, you realize what an absolute shite show. Because anything that's leading up, there's nothing that leads up to Doomsday. And then let's just take it one step further. Let's take a look at phase 6. This is phase 6. We're looking at phase 6. All 4 movies. Yes, that is correct. Well, Fantastic Four First Steps, right. They put that into phase 6. July 25th, 2025. Then we have Spider-Man Brand New Day. Then we have Avengers Doomsday. And then we have Avengers Secret Wars. Now, I should have pulled up some of the really old charts of what they were thinking about putting out for phases 5 and 6, which was like, it's almost as bad as Star Wars in terms of what they were planning, what concepts, yes, this, no, this, yes, no, yes, canceled, on and on and on, right? On and on and on. But this is now, what you're looking at is the phase 6 for Marvel. 4 movies. And nothing in phases 4 and 5 led in any way, in any storyline, significant way of, I mean, they had to get rid of Kang, right? Because Kang was such a, I mean, not even underwhelming, doesn't even come close to describe what this character was, Kang. Hollywood is the only place where you could screw up so bad and still keep your job. It really is incredible. It really is. But anyway, that is that's the big news for Doomsday. $700 million. I've been saying 750. At least 1.5 billion to break even. At least. Oh, okay. Jeez. Disney is just... Nothing puts a smile on my face to see Disney get its ass handed to it at the box office, right? Nothing. If you guys are watching Daredevil, it is just incredible. It is incredible how Disney takes every property. I was talking at the beginning of the show. Tell me one character who has a child and they have a son. Are there any sons? There's no. I don't think there's any sons in all of Disney. You can say in all of Disney, but in all of Marvel, does anyone have a son? There's lots of girls that are the secret to everything, or all the guys from the first season of Born Again have been like pushed aside, right? They got rid of what's his name, Foggy. First episode, boom. Cherry's gone. But Cherry was a fairly major character. Matt Murdock used to be a fairly major character. Now he just shuts up, stays quiet, and when what's her name tells her, tells him what to do, it's like he does it. Or at least she figures it out for him. Got the female governor, the female judge. It's the same thing. The Disney is... They take the entire princess brand thing to the point of their own self-destruction, destroying their own properties. I mean, it's like taking a car and driving it at 60 miles an hour and hitting a brick wall. I mean, why would you do this? Just because you own it doesn't. But Disney, when you think about Disney and why do they do what they do with their properties? Disney is hellbent. They don't care. They care less about the property. They care less about what Marvel was. 60, 70 years of Marvel. They care less about that and more about taking these characters the square peg round hole. And we need these characters to fit the Disney mold. And when they start manipulating all of these characters, the storylines, the lore, the backstories, the source material, they are reworking it. It's like a blacksmith. You got to pound it, and you got to rejig it, you got to rework it, and by the time they're done, it's nothing that anyone thought. Like even kids, young and old. I mean, I remember looking at the old Iron Man when I was like, as young as I think I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, watching the Iron Man cartoon on TV and Spider-Man and the Justice League and all these cartoons that I didn't need to watch teenagers. Do you think teenagers like to watch teenagers? Young boys and the young girls who watched superheroes, They want to watch grown men, like superheroes, doing super things, fighting super people against super odds and winning with those super odds in a clash of, science fiction Marvel. Bright colors. Characters that are godlike. And even the ones that are like Batman, right? The street level guys and gals. All that is gone. I mean, it's wait till Supergirl comes out, right? I mean, wait till wait for Supergirl. Oh, that's super. Yeah. Did you guys hear? Lobo was playing Jason Momoa. It's true. Lobo got cast in the role of Jason Momoa. That's my little joke. If you got a beard, how many of you guys got a beard? Sometimes, I have one or two little hairs that will pop and curl up, and then they'll hit the tip of my nose, and it gets. So if you see me go like this, it's because one of these little hairs turned upwards. I'm like, ah. I always try and get them, but anyway, that's why these little hairs, and they're always little poking me. It's frustrating. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can we talk a little bit more Disney, please? Can we talk Mandalorian and Grogu, or is it Grogu and Mandalorian? Who gets first billing? Who gets first billing? I don't know. Oh. Of Evander Phase 4 films, Black Widow. Jeez, that was another. Shang-Chi Eternals were not only crushed by No Way Home. No Way Home did, was it 1.6 billion? They were beat at the box office by Venom. Let There Be Carnage. That's pathetic. Yeah, that is pathetic. And you would think that early on, right? You would think you release these three movies, and you would think that, if you're a football team, just saying, right? Any football fans out there? You're a football team, right? 10 minutes into the first quarter, you try a few things to get your ass handed to you, right? And yeah, you go to the sidelines with the QB and the coach, and you gotta what? We gotta drop a new game plan. They totally have our numbers. We're getting our ass handed to us. But when things go that bad, you gotta draw up a new game plan. That's what you do. Anyone with half a sense, if it was me, if it was let's say if I owned Marvel and we just did 3 movies like this, meeting. Why is this happening? And I can't tell you that someone's not going to get X-nayed right now in the spot. But mind you, if I owned it I wouldn't have let those stories go out the way they did. There's no freaking way. Not as a screenwriter, obviously. I'm going to have my, screenwriter. It starts at the story level. When you have a great screenplay, it doesn't mean that the director is going to be able to take 200 pages. Superhero movies are long. Each page in a screenplay is 1 minute. So if you have a 230 page screenplay, that's 2.5 hours. And it could be an amazing screenplay. It does not mean, if it's an extremely well-written story, that the director and the team is going to be able to take all the descriptions, the scene descriptions, the dialogue, all these things that the screenwriter built into it, and it's going to be able to extract it and turn it into a visual masterpiece. If you have a great screenplay, that's where it starts. But that's what makes a great director. A great director is able to take words on paper, cast the actors, and of course the actors have got to pull these characters from the pages as well through the direction of the director. The director works with the cinematographer, the makeup, the set designer, all these things, wardrobe. So yes, it starts with a great screenplay, but a great screenplay does not necessarily mean we could watch an absolutely crappy movie, an absolute shit movie. The screenplay could have been amazing. It could have been amazing. It's just upon execution. And then editing. Editing's a huge deal. You know, for a 2-hour movie, you might have 4, 5 hours, 6 hours of film. Now, the director should have a very good idea of which shot that he wants. And of course, now they do on the dailies, they literally go through it every single day, right? Back in the day, they would have to get the film developed. And it was actually a few days later before they could watch what was filmed. But today, it's like real time. They literally do things real time. They will watch how the scene was filmed, and the director can watch it, make adjustments or whatever it is. And so things have changed dramatically. But a great screenplay does not guarantee, and this is the point, does not guarantee the fact that a director and the production team is going to be able to translate words into a visual masterpiece. There's no guarantee. There's no, as a matter of fact, the number of times a great screenplay has been turned into a piece of crap movie is very often. Very, very often. Not saying The Eternals was a great screenplay. I'm not saying that at all. Okay, we're gonna let me do some close that up. There we go. Star Wars, yeah, Mandalorian. We're gonna talk a little bit of Mandalorian, my friends. So Mandalorian, I think what are we 5 weeks away? May 22nd. So the Mandalorian. Now the one thing. Let me put this up here. Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu. So Star Wars, so the Mandalorian and Grogu early box office predictions are not looking that great. I think the budget, let's work Mandalorian and Grogu budget. Well, that's pretty specific. 166.4 million. I would guess, according to the California Film Commission, this makes it the most affordable Disney-era Star Wars movie, largely due to utilizing the virtual production volume. I don't trust Disney. Some of these movies and TV shows have come back significantly higher than what they first told us. It is safe to say, just call it 200 million. Disney is gearing up for the release of its first theatrical Star Wars film in several years. So if it is $200 million, $100 million marketing budget, you're looking at a $600 million box office. So let's see where this early box office estimates for The Mandalorian and Grogu are not great. However, the film has about 6 weeks until its release on May 22nd. You know what? If it hasn't gained traction by now, if it's got no traction by now, it's not going to get traction by May. As a matter of fact, it will lose traction because there's always much more optimism. Unless you got a movie like Project Hail Mary, this is not one of them. As a matter of fact, so as of April 2026, let's keep going on this thing. Estimates put the film's domestic opening at 70 to 85 million. While that seems like a solid number, it's lower than the opening of Solo, a Star Wars story, which opened at over 100 million. And I think it ended up with about 300, almost 400 million, not quite 400 million. If that's the case with the Mandalorian and Grogu, it will lose. It will lose, what will it lose? $100 million. Yeah, about $100 million. How much did the film cost? Estimates say that it cost around $166 million. Again, I question that. But we have seen that the totals for Star Wars film shows usually come in higher. Even if the number is correct, industry experts think it will need $425 million plus. I don't know. You know what? The math is not that complicated. 166, easily 250, even call it 275 million. You're looking at 500 to 550 million. Where they get this $425 million number from? 166, it's going to be $100 million to market for sure. 266 times 2 is 532 million. 532 million. If it is 166 million. Now, these are all round numbers, right? No one knows. Only Disney knows. And they are never going to give us the numbers on individual projects. They'll give us roundabout numbers, but they are not legally obligated to give any definitive numbers at that granular level, even in the stock market. It could break even and make some money, but I doubt it. It will hit that total scene from other Disney Star Wars films. Why are the estimates low? Because there's no pre-sales. People don't seem at all excited for this movie. If Disney had pushed the Mandalorian film at the height of the show's popularity, really? the height of the show's popularity. That would have been season 1. Maybe season 2. It's Star Wars. Star Wars. I mean, that's. I wonder what Kathleen Kennedy is doing. You ever ask yourself what is probably spending her hundreds of millions of dollars that she's made? She did okay. Kathleen Kennedy did okay. She probably had a lot of fun too, and she made a lot of money. People don't seem that all excited about this movie. If Disney had pushed a Mandalorian film at the height of the show's popularity, it likely may have done well. No, it wouldn't have. I highly doubt that. But many checked out after the last season, and many feel this will be a theatrical version of another season. It's something I've always been saying. This is just a TV show on the big screen. I don't. Why do you need to see this? You don't even need to see the TV shows. There is no pressing need that you got to watch the TV shows. They're so good. So you're gonna go spend $50 a piece and take a family of 4, spend $200 to go see this? It's going to be in streaming in 4 weeks, especially May long weekend. Just me. It's just me thinking out loud. Many will likely wait until it moves to Disney Plus. Holy shit! It's like they're listening to me or something. Where they can watch it like a regular season release, and that's exactly it. And I don't think anyone. I don't think I'm saying anything else that anyone already thinks for themselves. But it needs to be said. Other films like Masters of the Universe, which was going to be a huge flickin' flop. Masters of the Universe will flop, and if it doesn't, I will eat crow. But Masters of the Universe looks so bad. If you cannot pull a half decent trailer. Based on the last trailer we've seen for the Masters of the Universe, this is going to be an epic disaster. Masters of the Universe. And Toy Story 5 will do well. Are releasing within a month of The Mandalorian and Grogu as well. Is it worth watching the trailer? I guess it is. Have you guys seen the trailer for Mandalorian? I don't know if they're gonna if they copyright me. This I'll just, you know what, I'll be talking. I'll just block out that screen. Let me see. Let's watch this.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters.
I think I think that was supposed to be a funny part, I think.
War criminals.
Long live the Empire.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
You would have. Okay, first off, you would have think that after all these years, they would have thought of a better way to at least animate Grogu just a little bit more. And now the other thing, if I can just make this point, if this is my place and I have 2 guards, is this how you would place your guards? Well, I guess maybe left, right. The problem I have with Star Wars is the stormtroopers are as stupid can be. Yes, the Mandalorian is supposed to be some, better version of everything dealing with, But things never work out well for the stormtroopers. Never. They never do.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Strap in.
You will suffer.
One thing with these movies is, and it's usually really important for the actor, is FaceTime. And that always gets written into the contract. The actor will ask, if Pedro Pascal, you can't see his face, what's the point of being in it, right? And that's why you see Spider-Man fighting with, Tom Holland without his mask on. Iron Man, he's walking around without this thing, or he's only got one of his little pieces on, because they need to write in a certain amount of FaceTime. Believe me, this is extremely flippin' important to the actor. You need to be seen in a movie. If you're not seen in the movie or the TV show, it's not like you can point, yeah, this is my client. Wow, he did really good in a Mandalorian suit. So they ask for a certain, I don't know, whatever that percentage is, 30%. There'll probably be a lot more Pedro Pascal in the Mandalorian than you're used to watching in the TV shows.
And then it will be his turn.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
And I think it looks like they are giving, you guys noticing the amount of screen time, trailer time they're giving Grogu? I think the Goo Goo Gaga Grogu thing is done with. And it's not going to bring people into the theaters. Maybe they're thinking the kids want to go, I don't know if Grogu dolls are selling like they were when it first came out, but I think it was a little bit of a fad. But if you notice with this trailer, there is a lot of Grogu. A lot.
Are you scared? You should be.
Do we run? Or do we fight?
I like this kid.
To me, it looks just like a lot of generic Star Wars. It's generic scenes, it's generic action scenes. It's it's like when you watch the original trailers from A New Hope, right? Going back then, like there was an actual story. There was an actual, but this is just generic one scene to the next, boom, bang, boom, show a creature, show this. There's nothing that makes you feel compelled. It's generic Disney Star Wars slop. That's all it is. It's just all generic. It's all generic.
What are you waiting for? Let's save the rest for after dinner.
There we go. Well, that's the looks like a great TV show. And they're putting it in theaters. A recent Fandango survey of 10 summer must-see movies of 2026 doesn't include the Star Wars film. 5,000, this is interesting. 5,000 people surveyed chose these movies as their top 10 for summer 2026. Toy Story 5, yes. Toy Story 5 will do very well. It will do very well. As a matter of fact, I think it could be easily the top grossing movie in 2026. Spider-Man Brand New Day, that's $1 billion movie, I think. From what I see, that's an easy $1 billion movie. The Devil Wears Prada, didn't watch the first one. I've heard some actually pretty good things about it. The Odyssey, yes. We'll see. You know what? Nolan, he's made some interesting choices, right? In the Odyssey. Very interesting choices. Scary Movie, that already came out, right? Didn't Scary Movie 7 come out? Oh, that was Scream 7. Sorry, that was Scream. My apologies. Moana, live action Moana. Have you guys seen? Oh God, well, we'll have to do a show on Moana when I guess as a trailer. I don't know. Minions and Monsters. I always love a good Minions movie. Always love a good Minions movie. Mortal Kombat 2, Supergirl, and Insidious, The Bleeding World. A Sony Blumhouse movie. This does not bode well for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Since it was a streaming service show, most people will continue to watch it online. Once you associate a movie like that, it has no cinematic qualities. There's nothing that is cinematic about it. To take a TV show that didn't really perform quite that well, and especially in the third season, and to think that it has cinematic qualities that people are going to spend money to go watch, you're crazy. How did it get greenlit? I have no idea how it got greenlit. Jon Favreau, he's actually got some pretty good talent. Like, he's a pretty good writer. Out of the people in Star Wars and Marvel, although this is his last project in Star Wars. He's done at Star Wars after this movie. He's probably the ones that've got a little bit more talent than most people, but this is not going to show that talent at all. Rumors indicate that Disney is going all out for CinemaCon next week. Is it this week? The demand for Disney-owned IP is there, but not for Star Wars. I think audiences have grown tired of, Pedro Pascal is a tired actor. Disney has done what we thought no one could, destroy Star Wars. Well, I think we knew that 10 years ago, or 7 years ago at least, right? 8 years ago. Their best shot is Starfighter. Ryan Gosling's hot. We'll see. That is for sure, is definitely their best shot. With Ryan Gosling coming out in May 2027, 13 months from now. What do you think? Comment and let us know. No, thank you. I don't need to. But that is The Mandalorian and Grogu, guys. I don't know what you guys think. I'm pretty sure that there's not many of you out there that are in disagreement with a hypothesis that this is a garbage movie. This is a garbage movie. But it's Disney's money. It's Disney's money. They'll make money off Toy Story. Toy Story 5. As a matter of fact, they might make back everything they lose and break even just with Toy Story. Toy Story 1. But I think Mandalorian and Grogu, or Grogu and Mandalorian. I think we'll see more Grogu than we'll see Mandalorian in this movie. It's gonna be a flop. I think you're looking at least a $50 to $100 million loss. I don't think audiences want this. It's nothing. It is amazing. It is amazing that you get a franchise that is as a global phenomenon, and you get it, and over 10, 12 years, there is nothing, you create nothing, No characters, no compelling storylines, nothing that makes people want to immerse themselves into the franchise. Because like I say, I was watching Maul, Shadow Lord, over the weekend. I watched the 2 episodes. It's like 2 30-minute episodes. But even still, I couldn't, I kept floating away. I couldn't keep my attention on it. I didn't care. Even though some of the animation's not bad, there's no compelling story that makes you want to watch. And this is supposed to be about Dark Maul, where he's building his empire. But so it's like a story before we know what happened. You know, we know what happens to him. But it's that is, would you call it his origin story? Maybe, I don't know. Dark Maul origin story of how he sort of became who he is. But what these companies and these studios have got to start asking themselves, is this really what fans want to see? Do we want to see prequels? I think we are so tired of freaking prequels, right? We are done with the prequel. Sequel's okay. Sequel happens after. One movie, another movie, another movie. We get progression. Sometimes a prequel works. It works. But not every TV or movie or every character or everything that's ever happened requires a. Maybe they need. I don't want to give. I don't want to give Lucasfilm any ideas. I'll shut up. I will shut up. Ladies and gentlemen, Disney, on that note, our good friends at Disney, I thought this was an interesting thing to jump into. Yeah, we're done. We're done with Disney. Disney. Disney is doing so well. And I from a business standpoint, new CEO, new vision. I think Josh D'Amaro is he's not going to be hindered the way what's his name was with Bob Iger. I think this is a totally different CEO. I think Josh D'Amaro has some runway. He has a lot of runway to take this company. Look, the company is stagnated. It has almost died under Bob Iger. He couldn't develop anything. He could only buy established properties. That's all he did. He spent money buying stuff. And then spent the rest of his tenure destroying everything that he's purchased. Disney lays off now, but this is not, I know a lot of people in the production business in Los Angeles. They lost their jobs a long time ago. But this is just a part of it. And this is an ongoing thing. Disney lays off 1,000 employees are underway. CEO Josh D'Amaro says cuts will streamline operations. I know this is hard. Well, no, yeah. I love it when the CEO says, I know this is hard, when he's making like $30 million a year. It's like, I know this is hard, but we're going to lay you off. It's not hard for the frickin' CEO. It feels very disingenuous. It really does. Disney is making layoffs this week to streamline our operations in various parts of the company. The media company is eliminating about 1,000 roles, primarily as a result of Disney's formation of a consolidated enterprise marketing division under the leadership of Asad Ayez, chief marketing and brand officer. A source familiar with the situation said the cuts will span marketing functions across Disney Studios, TV networks, ESPN, product and technology, and corporate groups, the source added. Downsizing. D'Amaro, in his note to employees, said the unified enterprise marketing and brand organization is designed to serve customers in an even more connected way. Great consolation to those who get the pink slip, right? Over the past several months, we have looked at ways in which we can streamline our operations in various parts of the company to ensure we deliver the world-class creativity and innovation our fans value and expect from Disney. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, I like this. I know this is hard. Look, I know because I make $30 million per year, so I know this is hard. These decisions are not a reflection of their contributions or of the overall strength of the company. Well, actually, I'm not even sure what Disney stock is trading at. What is... Actually, you know what? I wanted to check Warner Brothers. Disney, about 110? 102. Jeez, 102. A PE of... the market's not buying much. A forward PE of 14.75. That's pretty low. Forward PE of 14.75. Revenue 95.716 billion. Market cap of 181 billion, trading 2 times sales. So I did want to check Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers, and I think this is really important. And of course, this is totally on a different. I think we're done with the layoffs, but this is a big thing, guys. And I was talking about this on the Saturday show about the price discount. So Warner Brothers, Paramount is buying Warner Brothers for $31 per share. So if it's being bought out for $31 per share, and remember, I worked in the stock market for many years as a market maker, economic analyst, yada yada yada. There's a price discount based on the market's belief that it's going to go through. Now, if they had a high belief that this was going to go through at a purchase price of $31, it will be trading 30 and change, probably in and around 30 to 30.25, maybe touching 30.50, but basically a slight discount to the purchase price. But that's not happening. We've got right now it's being traded at $27.32 in the aftermarket, 27 and change, call it. That is 18%, almost 20%, 17, 18% discount. Now, if you knew 100% that the Warner Brothers acquisition was going to go through, you could buy this thing and you would make from here, about 18%. On your money, which is huge in one stock. But the market's not seeing it that way. What the market is saying that there is a lot of jeopardy in this acquisition of Warner Brothers. And I have maintained this. I have said that by no stretch of the imagination is Warner Brothers a done deal. I think today we just had 1,000 signatures from industry people that they do not want this Warner Paramount deal to go through. I am of the suspicion, and I have a growing suspicion that it's not going to go through. The EU can shut it down, and the EU very well might shut it down. The EU can shut these things down just like the DOJ. California has the power to most likely shut it down, at least cause a lot of problems. But when you have a discount of almost $4 off of a purchase price of $31 per share, this suggests that there is a huge amount of uncertainty in this deal. And I've said, at the very least, there's going to be some huge divestitures. They might have to sell. What if they have to sell Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, HBO? What if they have to divest some of this stuff? What if they have to divest some of their studio properties? Does Paramount still want it? No, they're going to have to pay a huge breakup deal. Zaslav will look like a genius because he'll get, $7 billion breakup fee if the deal doesn't go through. I think it's $7 billion or $6 billion. $6 billion fee. And basically then David Ellison would have just blown $8.5 billion trying to buy Warner Brothers and getting nothing. But this is huge, guys. This is so important. People talk about the Warner Brothers deal, especially people that have no sniff about the stock market, stock prices, or anything like that, that this deal is going to go through. Far from it. $31 purchase price is trading at $27.32. That is huge uncertainty. And this is why so many people that talk about this stuff, they don't know shit about what they're talking about. This is far from over. If it's going to go through, there's going to be massive divestitures of property. Now, what that's going to be is going to be the DOJ. It's also going to be the EU. Those are the two main regulatory bodies. You cannot put an acquisition through. If the EU says no, it's no. It's 100% no. It's the two bodies that can shut down any deal or acquisition, unless they only did business in the United States, right? If it's all in the United States, of course it's not. So, watch the price of Warner Brothers Discovery. You can put it up on your stock chart. You can check it every day, every second day. Remember, the purchase price is $31 per share. The further it gets away from $31 per share, the greater the amount of uncertainty, the greater amount that the market is saying it's not going through. If it doesn't go through, this stock will plummet to, like, I'd say $14 to $15. $13 to $15. But as long as there's a huge discount, guys, so watch it. Well, I mean, I'll pull it up every once in a while. We'll watch it. Maybe once on the Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday show, we'll pull it up just to see what's going on. Because if it starts deviating away from the $31, it's looking more uncertain. If it starts to bridge that gap, then uncertainty is being lifted. And the market thinks that there's a bigger chance of it actually going through. But right now, guys, I'm telling you, there's huge problems with the Warner Brother acquisition. We'll watch it. We'll watch this thing and see how it drifts away. I would probably think it's probably going to stay around here. Guys, only buy this thing with money you're willing to lose. Because if it doesn't go through, your holding will be cut in half right away. At best, what you have to make, you maybe have 15 to 18% that you can make to the upside. You can lose 50% if the deal does not go through. And I would argue you don't want to hold Paramount stock. You don't. Because the second this acquisition goes through, you get the shares consolidated, and now your shares are trading with Paramount and Skydance Paramount, and those shares can go down, and you've lost anything that you thought you would have won. So anyway, guys, be careful. Don't buy this thing. Don't think, oh look, there's $4 per share in this thing, because if I buy it at 27, it's being purchased at 31. No, that's the market saying there's huge risk in this. Huge amount of risk, my friends. So that is, yeah. Oh boy, I feel it's like, I don't know what you guys are feeling. I feel like when this show is over, I'll probably have a little bite to eat, and I'm going to be like out like a light. It's just, oh. Would someone watch a live stream of someone sleeping? I you know what? I watched some of those just the other night. I went on to TikTok because my science channel, Dimension Zero, I'm on TikTok doing. I release videos on TikTok as well for my science channel, and there's this whole live section. So I jump into some of these live shows on TikTok. Oh my god! Have you guys ever been to TikTok and watch some of these live shows that are? It's not even a show. It's like someone has a camera on in their house. And they're just like walking around with this camera on in their house, and people watch this thing. This one day stream had like 782 people watching, some guy who just has his camera on in his apartment, and every once in a while he walks by. Like, this is content. Maybe Warner Brothers and Paramount might want to. There's some good content ideas there. It's crazy. Every single one, every single live stream was a bit. I don't want to call it a freakazoid, but it wasn't anything normal or natural. It's kind of like, what am I watching? Like, what am I watching? It is amazing what. And you really, when it comes to movies and the amount of choice that you have, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, even like Snapchat and all Pinterest, all of these other mediums, and of course the streamers. I was watching a show today. I forgot which one it was. And they were talking about how the movie industry basically pulled the rug from under their feet by creating all of these streaming channels. Well, no, it wasn't that they pulled the rug under their feet. They had to. Everyone had to stream. Netflix was eating. If Disney didn't go online, if Paramount, I don't know who watches Peacock. Who subscribes to Peacock? Really, seriously. But Universal, Warner Brothers, HBO. Well, HBO's been probably the oldest streaming service around, right? And probably the best. If they did not go full on streaming, Netflix would have eaten their lunch. It was adapt or die, if I can use a Brad Pitt term from the old Moneyball. Have you guys watched Moneyball with Brad Pitt? I highly recommend it. Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt, Moneyball. Great movie. Even if you don't like baseball, it's a great movie. Adapt or die. Brad Pitt's character says that in the movie. Adapt or die. And that, of course, now what the movie business did is they went uber woke. They went huge Me Too. They did all of these things that fundamentally undermined their storytelling. No longer was Hollywood about great stories. It was about DEI. It was infusion of feminism, the infusion of gay content, transgender content. It was the dramatic change in storytelling, where the story was no longer the focus. It was the messaging, the political messaging, social deconstruction, however you want to put it, construction, that infested movies. I've heard some people say that the strikes had the strikes had very little to do with it. This is all the strike. That would be a supply hit. None of this the only thing that the strikes could have impacted the decline in the cinema industry was from a supply perspective. And the supply, nothing was, at least 8 to 12 months, nothing was affected. The strikes were minimal. This is about DEI content, the de-evolution of storytelling. And Hollywood has always been the best storyteller in the world. That is why Hollywood could market their movies around the world. Not anymore. Very few movies get huge international pull because Hollywood has lost the magic of what was storytelling. Hollywood was at one time, everyone who was a great storyteller would go to Hollywood and tell stories. They would write the movies. They would write the screenplays. They would write the TV shows. And that is basically continued to erode. Now, inflation, the economics of a movie doesn't help. The fact that 2019, a movie cost what? $10, $11, $10, $12? It's twice as more expensive in a matter of a few years to go see a movie. And so families aren't going to spend that money to go and see movies when their buying power has been eroded. Should we put food on the table or should we go see a movie? Well, I think maybe we'll put some food on the table this week. Because it's something you're eventually going to watch anyway, right? You're going to watch it. You're going to watch it on streaming. It'll eventually come out and we'll watch it on streaming. Do we need to go see it? No. There might be some movies, like I would argue Dune 3 is one of those movies that you'd want to watch on the big screen. I mean, if you really want to watch Doomsday and you want to see the full effect, yeah, you're going to want to watch it on the big screen. But it's nothing that you're not going to get if you've been disassociated with a franchise. There's nothing that you couldn't get on your screen at home streaming. It's a bad so anyway, so on that, so when I did hear, I'm not going to say where I heard it, this whole idea that streaming destroyed the cinema. The business, everyone had to go streaming. If you didn't go streaming, Netflix would have wiped everybody out. Netflix would have 80% market share of the streaming market. They had to do it. And if you thought that $4.95 per month streaming was going to stick, I mean, obviously, prices are probably still going to go up on streaming. I'd say at least 15 to 30% before they settle in, and that these production companies, these streaming companies, Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, all of them, that their subscription model starts to make money. Until that happens, prices will continue to go higher. Now, is there a point in time where the market says, fuck it? No. Yeah. Markets are going to be more selective. Maybe instead of having 2 or 3 streaming services, or 3 of them, you go down to 2. You know what? We don't need Disney Plus. I don't watch Marvel anymore. Yeah. We just need Warner Brothers, HBO. HBO's a must, right? HBO's a must. You got to have HBO. HBO's the best, baby. Deadwood. You guys want a good show to watch? Deadwood. Deadwood is so good. Deadwood. I'll tell you, the amazing thing with Deadwood is the authenticity. You literally think, it literally feels like you were watching the 1870s. And they drink so much, right? There's whiskey everywhere. Everyone's drinking. It's like every scene they're drinking. And so I had to Google, like, in the 1870s, did they really drink this much whiskey and bourbon? And the response and I referred directly to what Deadwood. And the response was basically that they potentially undershow how much alcohol was actually drank in the 1860s, 70s, and 80s. Life was so hard in those gold mining camps. Water was so bad, so they would drink whiskey, which doesn't make sense because obviously alcohol is only going to increase your thirst. But basically, there was so much liquor that would they just sit there? They would just take the bottle, put a shot down, drink? Yes, that is literally what they would do to a huge extent. But if you do want to watch a good, I mean, that is HBO, right? That is, again, one of these classic. There's so many TV shows. You could have HBO, and there's so many TV shows that you could go back and watch. So many. Entourage. I mean, I love Entourage. Silicon Valley, right? That was HBO. Silicon Valley. That's still one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Silicon Valley. You know what? Silicon Valley is feeling like I need to watch Silicon Valley again. If you guys need great TV, Silicon Valley, Deadwood, The Expanse. I got to finish watching The Expanse. These are shows that are so much higher quality than, let's say, Maul, Star Wars, the Shadow Lord, or Daredevil or, you know, whatever. These older TV shows are so good to watch, right? They're so good to watch. They're worth going back and watching again. Or there's so many TV shows we might have missed. And that's the point. Now, I think I have subscriptions to I have 6 subscriptions. But I watch from a perspective of, with Pop Rages, having to watch the shows, critique them, understand what's out there, even from a screenwriting perspective. Although I don't like watching, if I am writing a science fiction screenplay, I don't like watching any science fiction. Nothing. Because I want my mind to be pure, unadulterated from other writers' ideas or concepts. For originality's sake, right? That it's a very big thing, and I think most writers do that. They will. I lock myself away for hours. Most writers will do that. If you cannot be alone for hours upon hours every day for days upon weeks, yeah, you're not going to be. You're not going to be a writer. That's just you need to immerse yourself in the story. And when you're writing a great script, I tell you. When I'm writing, like some of the scripts that I've written, some of the best times that I can remember is just myself, my mind, I guess, which is kind of the same thing, and then the story, which is this nebulous thing that's being created by your mind, but it almost feels like things are being infused. These ideas that come in, and the story that's created. It's a magical thing to be a writer. Or maybe just a creator, right? When you're creating something out of nothing, it's a very satisfying thing. But you need to be absolutely 100% okay and enjoy being alone. But that's from a writing perspective. And so these streaming services, it's not that the studios slit their own throats or pulled the rug from under their feet. They had to go to streaming. It is a natural evolution of the industry. It's a natural evolution. And this is what is happening right now. It's evolving. What Hollywood has done as this has been evolving is that they've decided to take these politically charged subject matter that are typically activists, right? Activists, they take these ideas and they think, well, you know what? I was just thinking, it's like bricklayers. I was looking at all these jobs that men do. Very women don't want to do them. But for some reason, even in the Me Too movement, they don't go, you know, it's like the guys that work up in the northern fleets there catching crabs. There's not a whole lot of women that say, you know, the feminist groups that say, we need more women crab catchers on the northern boats up in the North Atlantic. We need more, like there's too many men. Bricklayers, garbage guys that go pick up the garbage, that got to work and haul, pick up stuff all day. You never see them going, you know what? It's like, there's not enough women going out there and working in the janitorial services, picking up garbage and doing that. I think they're pretty well paid. I'm not saying it's good, honest work. But this change from cinema to streaming, which was a necessity. Otherwise, Netflix would have destroyed everybody. At that same time, during that change, they decide to infuse stories with DEI, politically charged, politically activated. And of course, to be an activist, you activate, right? That's where the word comes from. You are activating thoughts, ideas. And so at the worst possible time, when there's a dramatic shift occurring from cinema to streaming, Hollywood decides that in all of their hubris, look, we're the best. People will continue to watch our stories, even if we infuse it with transgender, gay, feminist, and we get rid of the male toxicity and that type A male personality. Get rid of it, and it's gonna be good. Well, it wasn't, was it? And this is why the industry is where it is. It's not because of strikes. It's not because of anything other than there is a massive change. This change is, it was inevitable. Streaming, right? When bandwidth hit critical mass, and all of a sudden it goes all about bandwidth. Is there enough bandwidth to stream this stuff without buffering all the time? When that problem was solved, everything had to go streaming. Had to. Because Netflix was eating everyone's lunch, or was going to eat everyone's lunch. It was the execution of how the studios did it, from Disney, all these studios. It was such poor. If there was one studio that didn't go DEI, that didn't go woke, that didn't go messaging, that didn't go Me Too, that didn't go gay, trans, all this shit that doesn't belong in a great story. Now, if the story compels any of these subject matters to be inserted because of the story, that's fine. But if you're gay and you want to watch gay stuff, there's 15 or 20 gay streaming channels. If you really need to watch gay stuff, right? If you do. I don't even need to watch hetero stuff. There's soft porn, whatever stuff. If you want to watch, there's like, we only need it if it's part of the story. But Hollywood basically destroyed itself by destroying its very own product. It sabotaged the very product that it owned for 100 years. Since Charlie Chaplin, Hollywood has been the center of the greatest storytelling until 2018. When did it start? 2018? 2019? 2017? The destruction of story, the destruction of the protagonist, the destruction of the antagonist, the destruction of the compelling reasons why the protagonist and antagonist, why they do what they do. What are the reasons they do what they do? Does it matter what their habits are in bed? Well, I'd argue it probably doesn't, right? It probably doesn't matter if they like to, which way they like to take it in bed. I didn't ask. I don't want to know, and most people don't want to know. Families, mothers, fathers. I mean, if I had young kids, am I going to have them watch some of this stuff? No. 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 Oh, geez. I'd love being alone if I wasn't for all those voices. Well, that's where the great story ideas come from, my friend. When I'm writing, like literally, you got characters in your mind, right? So you'll be writing. So you're writing a screenplay. You have, your major characters, and then you have your supporting characters, and these are voices in your mind. So, Evander, if you thought of it as, if you're a writer, the voices in your mind are the characters. Like literally, when I write a screenplay, it's a movie going on in my head, and I watch it, and I watch these characters, and I watch everything unfold, and then when I see it unfold, I get it down. I write it down into a screenplay, and I see it, and whatever I see in my mind, I write the description. Now, it's when you're writing a screenplay, or I think anything, this whole idea of writer's block, fuck it. There's no such thing as writer's block. Just get your pen on the paper. Get your fingers on the keyboard. Just get whatever it is down. And whatever you see, whatever you feel, just get it down. You might think it's stupid. You might think it's asinine. This is not going good. You go to sleep and you wake up the next day, you go, whoa, I kind of like this. Or you think, you know what? This story I see where it's going. It's not this. It's this, but then this. But Vavander, it's those voices in your mind that are the characters. So I would argue maybe you might be a good writer. Maybe you'd be a good writer. I tried laying bricks. It was fun, but we were unable to have any kids. Activating thoughts. The only thing I'm able to activate these days is yeast. Well, I love a good sour bread. I love sourdough, my friend. If you make some sourdough bread, bring it on by, my friend, because I got a little bit of red wine left. And I'd love, you know what I love? So I'm a European, right? I was born in Brno, Czech Republic. Came as a refugee when I was 3 months old to Vancouver. 1968. Refugee. I am a refugee. Refugees come in all colors. And I forgot my point. Oh, that's what it was. I remember now. Yeast. So one of the great things about, so my mom and dad, right? They were European, right? My dad was a German, half Czech. My mom was Czech, and so one of the things that we would do, so it would so we would have this for dinner. We would have this entire plate. My mom would, and basically she just cuts up raw vegetables, salamis, all these different kinds of meats. And we go to the European butcher shop, and they'd have all these meats and salamis, right? And they chop it all. They would have some great breads, different sourdoughs and rye breads and everything. And it's like this entire platter: green pepper, red pepper, cauliflower, breads, meats. And basically that was dinner, right? So you go and you dig in. So of course, I love bread. I love yeast. I know that was a long explanation for the word yeast, but I gave up on professional baseball due to all the strikes. There's a lot of strikes. The voices in my head just keep me up at night telling dad jokes. There's nothing wrong with dad jokes. Fathers and mothers. And it's one thing, like I said, on Thursday, hopefully we're going to get to it. How many sons are there in movies today, in TV shows? How many sons are there? We know there's lots of daughters. There's lots of daughters. How many sons? How many sons are there? Even when you watch commercials, how many sons, how many father and sons are there in commercials? It's always a mother and a daughter. Do I have a problem with this? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I personally know 2 fathers that are raising their kids. As a matter of fact, he's not here tonight, but Sport Coat. He has 2 kids. Different circumstances why he's, unfortunate circumstances why he's a single parent. But there are single fathers out there, whether they're, daughters or sons, that are doing heavy lifting. And I think it's extremely disingenuous. It's extremely crippling to society. Fathers and sons are almost absolutely missing from the Hollywood equation. Not saying there's anything wrong with daughters. Absolutely. They're adorable. They're adorable. Love a little girls. But little boys need to see themselves, if you want to use that term, can little boys actually start to see themselves on TV? Can fathers and sons do the same thing? But this is the degradation of the story, right? This is how Hollywood has devolved from the greatest storytelling apparatus in the world, to something that is. We see Japan coming up telling great stories. India is telling some great stories because they're not encumbered with, can I say it? Ladies and gentlemen, they are not encumbered with the bullshit. The Hollywood bullshit. These little groups. That should be an HBO series based on the brothers Karamazov. Great story about fathers and sons and brothers. A real rush. I got a headache. Yeah. But anyway, I think there's one, but you know what, guys? Can we just have a little bit of fun? Can we have a little bit of fun with Rachel Zegler? Can we? Come on, can we? Rachel's got a job. Rachel's got a job. Ladies and gentlemen, before, this is important. This is really important. Amanda Seyfried. Rachel Zegler. I got these little hairs. They keep turning up. I gotta get a little snipper. Itching my nose. Cast in just in case you were. I know some of you guys are probably going, I'm really concerned about Rachel Zegler. I have no idea. It's Santa Claus there. Oh, is that David Letterman? That is David Letterman. Holy jeez, that's David Letterman. That's him. Dear God. Holy, can you put more crap in front of my freaking screen? Lin-Manuel Miranda has revealed the cast list for his upcoming feature film, Octet. In an Instagram post Tuesday, Miranda listed... Oh, I just remembered something. Amanda Seyfried, Rachel Zegler, Cheryl Lee, Octet. There you go. So there, Amanda Seyfried, Velma, a second billing, Rachel Zegler. There you go. So in case you were wondering, she's got a job. So don't worry, guys. She does have a job. But something, guys, this is very important. I wanted to do this. I almost forgot. Can I set this up? Okay. So let me set. We're gonna get Ruby Rose. 20 years ago, guys. 20 years ago, guys. Katy Perry and Ruby Rose went out together 20 years ago, and apparently, while Ruby Rose was lying there on, Katy Perry somehow took her muff private part and brushed it on Ruby Rose's face, in which Ruby Rose let's just get to this, okay? This is just kind of part of the fun of Hollywood. Ruby Rose claims Katy Perry sexually assaulted her nearly 20 years ago. Perry's representative denies it as reckless lies. A representative for Perry denied the claim, calling them categorically false and dangerous reckless lies. I don't know. There's probably a slight air of truth, but just like all things, Ruby Rose alleged that Katy Perry sexually assaulted her at a nightclub in Melbourne, Australia, nearly 20 years ago. A rep for Perry denied the claims, calling them categorically false and dangerous, reckless lies. It has taken almost 2 decades to say this publicly. Rose wrote on social media detailing the alleged incident. Ruby Rose is alleging that Katy, listen up. I need your attention, please. Listen up. Ruby Rose is alleging that Katy Perry sexually assaulted her in a nightclub nearly 20 years ago. A claim the singer's rep denies as categorically false. The Australian model actress, known for roles in Orange is the New Black and John Wick Chapter 2, made the claims. I don't think she had a speaking line in John Wick, though, did she? Which was also the worst John Wick. Shared on Threads on Sunday, April 12th. Rose, who is now 40, replied to an article shared by Complex about Perry reacting to Justin Bieber's Coachella performance. She claimed in the comments section, Katy Perry, sexually assaulted me at Spice Market Club in Melbourne. Who gives a shit what she thinks? In a subsequent reply, Rose added that I was only in my early 20s at the time. Well, I think Katy Perry would have been too, right? I mean, I kissed a girl, I guess. I don't know. Time of the alleged incident, and it has taken almost 2 decades to say this publicly. I mean, it's taken oh my God, it's like, she brushed her vagina on your face. That's it. Like, it's not, if that's what you're alleging, if it's true, this is the crime. Though I'm not saying that that's right. A good, whatever. Though I'm so grateful that I made it long enough to find my voice. It just shows how much of an impact trauma and sexual assault takes. A rep for Perry denied the claims in a statement shared on Monday, April 13th. The allegations being circulated on social media by Ruby Rose about Katy Perry are not only categorically false, they are dangerous, reckless lies. Perry's rep. Miss Rose has a well-documented history of making serious public allegations on social media against various individuals, claims that have been repeatedly denied by those who are named. This is Hollywood, my friends. This is Hollywood. This is what they argue about. This reminds me of something else. Have you seen, guys? I'm going to get to something else right after this. Have you seen Jeff Bezos, his wife? Have you seen her lately? There's something I got to talk about there. Right after this. But there you go. That's Ruby Rose. She got a little bit of Katy Perry muff on the face. A little bit of Katy Perry vagina. A little bit on the face. And she threw up. Apparently, in a nightclub. In another upload, Rose alleged that Perry, now 41, saw me resting on my best friend's lap to avoid. This is how it went down. This is what happened. Listen up. To avoid her and bent down, pulled her underwear to the side and rubbed her disgusting vagina on my face until my eyes snapped open and I projectile vomited on her. Rose also wrote that as a woman, for a myriad of reasons, opening up about W on W, women on women, violence and sexual abuse seems to be 100 times harder than speaking about the male predators. At least for me. The Star said she is not interested in filing a report over this, but she did. She did file a police report when she responded to Threads users who claimed she was speaking out in connection to a Twitter feud she had once had with Perry in 2017 when she slammed Perry's song Swish Swish. Perry is more than welcome to sue me. She won't because it happened, and I have photos, and it was literally in public and witnessed by multiple people, alleged Rose. Plus, there is so much more that happened in the years leading up to her silly song she won't want me discussing. The psychological manipulation was strong with that one. Rose also claimed Perry wrote and signed the letters of recommendation for my U.S. visa application in the 2010s. So basically, Katy Perry wrote letters so you could get your U.S. visa, which is why you didn't mention this. So don't you still owe her for your U.S. visa? Like, it just seems like you know. Of course, there we have the National Sexual Assault Line. However, there was the club manager sheds light on the night Ruby Rose claims Katy Perry sexually assaulted her. A rep for Perry, yada yada yada. There they are. There's the two. There's the two. I don't know what Justin Trudeau was thinking about this. The former manager of the night. Oops, what happened there? Oh, this is Toronto Sun. The former manager of the nightclub where Ruby Rose claims Katy Perry sexually assaulted her is shedding light on the wild night. Rose, an Australian actress and model known for her roles in Orange is the New Black and John Wick Chapter 2, alleged Sunday in a series of social media messages that Perry assaulted her nearly 20 years ago. And I guess the word is she actually went to the police station. A police report was filed. She actually filed a police report on this. Replying to a post shared by Complex that showed Perry's enthusiastic reaction to Justin Bieber's headlining set at the Coachella Music Festival, Rose 40 wrote on Threads, Katy Perry sexually assaulted me at Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. Who gives a shit what she thinks? A representative for Perry quickly shot down the accusations in a statement to Fox News, Variety, and People that read, the allegations being circulated on social media by Ruby Rose about Katy Perry are not only categorically false, they are dangerous, reckless lies. We've been through that. Where's there's Trudeau and Katy Perry, right? There you go. In a follow-up message, Perry took to Instagram story sharing an image of her 2013 song, By the Grace of God, with her 200 million followers, and the caption, I love you. There it is. There it is. By the grace of God, Katy Perry, I love you. Okay, now this is what we wanted to get to. In a new interview with the Herald Sun, a former manager of the Melbourne Spice Market recalled how both Rose and Perry were drunk, but that he was not aware of any incident taking place. They came in together. They were also with Katie's hair and makeup girl and another guy who was friends with Ruby. He told the outlet per Rolling Stone Australia, it was a security nightmare because there were 600 people there and Katie kept coming out and dancing with everybody and going right up in the middle of the mosh pit. According to One Time Boss, the two spent most of their evening partying inside the cordoned off VIP area, and he didn't witness anything out of the ordinary. Ruby Rose performs at the Temple nightclub. That was not the night of the incident. They were in the genie bottle having drinks and stuff, but were excuse me, something in my eye. Mainly in there doing their own thing. He said, "I wasn't aware of any alleged assault or someone vomiting." By the end of the evening, the two women were just like any other persons drinking at the nightclub and were escorted out through a separate exit. Both had way too much to drink. Excuse me, Both had way too much to drink, he said. To avoid people taking photos of them in their state, we organized a car and driver to be waiting outside the Collins Street entrance at the hotel. We escorted them out to the back and out to the fire exit and put them in the car together. Oh, sorry. 1 second, guys. I got something in my eye. I apologize. Rose's shocking accusation against Perry. In one Threads post, Rose claimed, saw me resting on my best friend's lap. We went through this in the last article. Pulled down her underwear to the side and rubbed her disgusting vagina on my face until my eyes snapped open and I projectile vomited on her. My apologies, guys. Give me. Sorry, I got something in my eye. That doesn't work well for a live broadcast. It doesn't. Where was I? Vagina, right? I was on the vagina. Where was the vagina thing? I was can we get back to the vagina? Saw me resting in my head, my best lap to avoid, pulled down her underwear to rubbed her disgusting vagina on my face until my eyes snapped open and I projectile vomited on her. In another message, she kept the secret because Perry offered her help to get her visa in the United States. After it, I threw up. After it, I threw up on her. I guess someone rubs their vagina on your face and you just turn. I guess it's. There are men that pay big money for that. You know that they pay big money for that. But changed it to be a little funny drunk story. Well, if it was a little funny drunk story back then, because I didn't know how else to handle it. Well, it was a funny drunk story. Now you probably need money, so now you're going to bring this up to try and get a payout. Is that what that is? It's about a payout. But I did tell y'all she wasn't a good person. Instead, I got attacked by everyone. Rose wrote. Rose said that she spent nearly 20 years keeping the alleged assault a secret. I was only in my early 20s. Now I'm 40. So was Katy Perry. It has taken almost 2 decades to say this publicly. You know what? Honestly, am I allowed to say this? Can I say this? Do I have a lawyer in my room here? Is there a lawyer? Can I lawyer up? I have had this could be news. Guys, this is probably news. Over my years, I have had vagina in my face. I say this. I never asked for it. I never wanted it. I never wanted it. It was always forced upon me. It was thrust upon me. I'm not minimizing, or maybe I am. If you could make a big deal about it 20 years ago, to make a big deal about it 20 years later, it's hard to take you seriously. It really is, especially with the other things that you've kind of done in your life. Elsewhere, Rose challenged Perry to take legal action to combat her claims. Well, she's got a lot of money. She might do that. Katy is more than welcome to sue me. She won't because it happened. I have photos. And it was literally in public and witnessed by multiple people. Plus, there is so much more that happened in the years leading up to her silly song, She Won't Want Me Discussing. Wow, that does sound like extortion, doesn't it? That does sound like give me money or else. The psychological manipulation was strong with that one, she wrote. Wow. I mean, this is just Hollywood, you know. Rose says that she has filed a police report. In a new update Tuesday, Rose says she has gone to the police over Perry's, alleged assault. As of this afternoon, I have finalized all of my reports. This means I'm no longer able to comment, repost, or talk publicly about any of those cases or the individuals involved, she wrote on Threads. Well, that is convenient, isn't it? That is convenient. It's also going to look like I'm ignoring everything from supportive messages to other people's experiences, but I'm not. Rose continued, this is a standard request from the police, and in many ways, quite the relief. Quite the relief. I had Katy Perry's vagina on my face, and now that I can talk about it, I feel relieved. Rose ended her message by saying she can now start the healing process and temporarily move forward. I don't know, right? You know what? Look. Anytime that there is an assault it's not good, right? It's not good. No one has the right to do anything to you. No one has the right to hurt you, abuse you, right? This is common knowledge. But when you have two Hollywood princesses yakking about it, it kind of comes up disingenuous. Or not disingenuous. I don't know if that's the right word. But there, guys, so I saw a picture today. I got to touch on this, but, before the night. Guys, have you... Okay, let me just punch this up. I saw this, and I think something is up. I think something's up. Why is it like that? Okay. Now, so this is Lauren Sanchez. The wife of Jeff Bezos. It struck me today, and this isn't the actual picture, but it did strike me today that she has got a significant amount. Now, okay, let me pull this. I mean, there's some serious things going on here. This is kind of the way I remember her. It was a very specific kind of smile. However, today, I need to find there's right there. Like, I guess, is this a problem when you're a billionaire and you have access to billions? The lips, right? The lips. Before and after. And it's getting worse. Guys, I noticed this today. It's getting worse. Every time I see her, it's like is Jeff Bezos punching him? Obviously she's not. But she is going lip crazy. Now, because there was a picture in the news today. I thought I had the images up and ready, and I didn't for some reason. Or do I have them? No, that's not it. Sorry, let me see. Ruby Rose, Disney. No. But you see what I'm saying, right? This is Jeff Bezos' wife. Now, and it keeps getting worse. What I've been seeing is, okay, this is a good picture. This is when I thought she was not kind of gorgeous. Okay, this isn't it. This is her. Okay, what? There's an image here. There, right? I mean, you see the difference, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, so I saw her face today. I'm like, Well, this Jeff Bezos says, yes, get more surgery, honey. Yes, get more. She looks very natural here, right? Very natural. This is Lauren Sanchez, the wife of I think the second richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos. What is the problem I have? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Is Jeff Bezos not stepping in? Honey, I don't think you need to look like you just came out of a boxing match with Danny Alex. No, I wouldn't hit I would never hit a woman. But you came out of a boxing ring. And I found it so I mean, there's some really bad ones. How come the ones that? Oh, jeez. But you know what I'm saying? So my point is, I don't like. We see this happen to actresses in Hollywood. I don't particularly like those psychological effects manifest themselves into these procedures. And these women, I think it's much more prevalent with women than men. I mean, it's you're the wife of a freaking billionaire. Oh yeah, there we go, right there. That's what I'm saying, right? We've seen the images before. This is her now. This is such a dramatic change. And I think my point is, just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's a problem in Hollywood. It's a problem in a lot of places where mostly women feel that they need to, and this is like, and I say this because this is Jeff Bezos's wife. Money is no object. I would at least think that with money is no object, you would go to the best freaking doctors on the planet. And you would ask for a procedure and they'd say, no. No. I'm not going to do that. Look at her. Like, she was a gorgeous young lady before and after. But the before image, this is the after image. It's almost looking like more of a male. She looks like almost more like a guy. Even her hair, she was a gorgeous, I don't want to use past tense, was a gorgeous young lady. Before, after. I mean, you see it, right? Anyway, gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous. I love that natural look. Women, to all you women out there, that natural look you have with just a little bit of makeup, you guys look freaking amazing. That's my point, okay? Seriously. You do. Everything that is natural for you, you just put a little bit of stuff on. A little bit. And you guys look fucking awesome. That's the freaking truth. Anyway, it's frustrating for me to see women, and I think maybe having too much money is a problem. But again, right? That's what that is a gorgeous young lady. She didn't have to do anything to her face. She would have aged naturally. Women, the guys, just, you don't need to. All right, if you you don't need to. We're going to the clams, my friends. This gives clam digging an entirely new meaning. Well, it kind of does, yeah. Oh boy, the whole believe women theory sure gets complicated when it's clam on clam crime, right? And that's the problem. This is where the Me Too movement really breaks down. It really breaks down. Which one do you believe? Believe all women. Believe them all. That's why I've always said the Me Too movement is the biggest BS. And of course, I know I don't have to. All of the peeps watching this show, I know I don't have to say anything. Like we know, right? But let me state it for all of us. Me Too is bullshit. If anything, women lie a lot more. I'm sorry. Sorry. I've had a lot of girlfriends over my life. Not that all women lie. I've had some great ones too. Holy, I'm just getting myself in the freaking trouble here. There's a lot of great women out there. Lots of them. There's as many bad women as there are bad men. Bad women just do things in different ways, right? They do it in different ways. Justin Trudeau be like, why haven't I received that treatment? Right? Right? Honey, Ruby Rose says that you brushed your thing on her face. How come you haven't brushed your thing on my face? I'm not that kind of a woman anymore, Justin. I'm not that kind of a woman. Well, he is that kind of a guy. Yes, he is. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Those are a few tidbits in Hollywood. You know, Lawrence Sanchez, I'm telling you, man. Freaking gorgeous. She didn't need to do anything. You know what? At 50, 60 years old, she would be absolutely amazing. Right? This is a naturally gorgeous woman. Who decided to go from that to that. To that. To that. Ladies, God, you're beautiful. We are all beautiful the way we are. Don't believe anything or anyone else. We are. All of us, my friends. We are worth our weight in salt. We are worth. This is the wife of the second richest man in the world. But anyway, perhaps I do digress. It is, but I think it's just something important, right? We need to it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Danny Alex. This has been Tuesday night, the Tuesday night big show. We're going to be back on Thursday. We're going to have the Daredevil, the new Daredevil thing. And we're going to have a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm sure stuff always happens. People talk. People are brushing their, vaginas everywhere. They're doing this. They're doing that. I don't know what's going to come up. I don't know. We won't know until Thursday. And that's about 45 hours from now, guys. So I thank you all for watching this evening. My name is Danny Alex. This is the Poprageous Big Show. Glad to have you with me, the lurkers and everyone in chat. Thank you. Guys, have a great evening, and I will see you on Thursday. Big Show, 8 p.m. Eastern. Cheers. Sorry, you're still there.
Yeah, baby. Are you not entertained? I'm
sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
You. Look at me.
Yes.
What's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no...
Sex.
Yes. These go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?